Hey everyone, I wanted to do a video today on something that I've gotten a lot of requests for, probably the most requested thing, which is about protecting your home and, protective workings, protective magic, defensive magic. And I'm not the best person to ask about this because I think that my theory and my approach is not is atypical. I am a very the best protection is not involving yourself in things that you would need to be protected from. I like to be proactive and I like to make wise decisions and not involve myself in things that are going to cause me drama or stress or things I feel like I need to cleanse from my life or remove from my life or protect myself from. And I find that a lot of people I get a lot of questions, do you worry about posting photographs of your workings on the internet? Aren't you worried that people are going to see the photos and direct malintent towards them? And I'm not at all, because I think that it takes more than a person having a nasty thought about my work or myself to affect me. People's opinions and their words or even their thoughts about my work are not going to be enough to affect them, because what I personally believe is that the success that comes through in my workings is derived from spirit. That is where I get my strength from and my power from, and the spirit is what is evoked to make the workings successful and make them work properly and to obtain their goals. So you have to sort of assume that, like I have to turn down work, semi-regularly for people that they'll say, would you have any death spells? And I said, no, because I don't do that. And they'll say, well, do you have something similar or, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is that I decline that type of work because I'm not going to work for someone just because they want to hurt someone with no reason behind it. Now, like karmic retribution, that's a whole other thing. Somebody did something and you want to sort of speed up what is going to happen to them inevitably. That's different. That's a whole other approach, and I'm not speaking of that right now. I'm talking about people who are just looking to harm people and be nasty just for the sake of being nasty. And I personally don't believe that spirit is going to get behind that and propel that work. I think that spirits have an overlook of your life, and they can see, the path you're headed. And if you've been working hard towards that goal, they might speed the process up to get that goal to you sooner than perhaps it would have come without your focus and intent and prayer and action on it. So if you're just asking, the deities to harm someone just to harm them, or, you're being petty or juvenile, somebody did something to you, and so you want something terrible to happen to them right now, the spirits are not going to fulfill that for you. That's not how it works. You don't get what you want just because you ask for it and because it's what you think you deserve at the time. So I see people's, any malintent they may have towards any work that I'm doing or towards myself the same way. First of all, I think it's a very narcissistic viewpoint to think that there are people out there spending their entire days directing malintent at my photographs. That sounds really bizarre to me, and I don't really believe that's happening. I also don't think, sure, there's people out there who don't like me. There's people out there who, there's billions of people in the world. Not everybody's going to like each other. That's just the odds of it. Okay, those are rational numbers. So I don't believe that there are people out there who just spend their whole days doing that. If they do, I would say that that's some sort of imbalance or something that they're suffering from. Clearly they need treatment, but I don't believe that magical work is going to be successful or have results for them, because that's how they're spending their time. So I don't, I'm one of those people to where if I don't, I don't see a reason somebody would be doing that to me. So for me, you have to believe in it to give it power. So if I don't see any reason for somebody to, I would have to constantly be thinking that people were focused on me and worried about what I'm doing. So that's where that narcissistic viewpoint comes from. I don't think that. I don't think anybody cares about what I'm doing. I don't think anybody cares about, for me to think that they are so concerned with me is, I think it would be a very unhealthy viewpoint. So I don't worry about having to protect myself from other people. If they are trying to direct something towards me, I mean, I don't, like I said, I have to believe in something to give it power. So, and people would disagree with me on that. I'm not talking about physical harm. I'm not talking about somebody breaking into my house right now. I'm talking about spiritual intent directed towards my workings or somebody else's workings. So it's just like anything else. I believe in the work that I do, and that helps to manifest it. If I don't believe in it, then it doesn't help to manifest it. So, but there are some things that I do to keep, they're sort of just traditional things that were passed down to me. And so I'm going to talk about these as a cultural importance, not necessarily because of this is something I do because you have to do it every day, or else people are going to direct their bad thoughts at you and try to psychically attack you. I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in psychic vampires. I just don't. So, and like I said, a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's totally fine. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. That makes no sense at all. So you have your own wonderful brains, and you are born and wired the way you were born and wired, and it is wired differently than how I am wired. So what makes sense to me is not going to make sense to you all the time, and vice versa. So, and that's what makes the world a beautiful place and makes it go around, is diversity. So, and appreciating others' viewpoints, opinions, cultures, our differences. So I do like to lay red brick dust down at the barriers of my home, so the doors and the gates to my yard. That's a really traditional thing. Red brick dust is very traditional from New Orleans. Some of the biggest voodoo gatherings were started in old brickyards. So the brick dust was, once again, in the practice of hoodoo, they took what was available to them. They charged it with their intent, and they transformed something ordinary or something they had an abundance of into something that would have spiritual and magical purpose for them. So I do lay barriers of red brick dust, which is supposed to keep negativity away and evil. I don't totally subscribe to the term evil. I don't think that any one person is inherently 100% evil or anything like that. So I don't care for that term a whole bunch. Black salt I use a lot of. I make my own. I sell it in my shop. Here's a container of it. You can see it's got some bits in there. So this is made by putting salt in a cast iron pan, an old one. I use an old rusty one because you want the rust is also protective in itself, the oxidized iron. So, and then you put it in there and you scrape it and scrape it and scrape it. And I also burn charcoals of sage right on top of it and frankincense. So then all the ashes of the frankincense and the sage are also scraped and continuously mixed in there through that process. So it's a little bit of a long process, but you end up with a really great black salt, which repels negativity. So it's sort of proactive work. I like to say the best defense is a good offense. So while I don't believe there's anybody out there who's super concerned in my life and what I'm doing, because I don't know why they would be, this is a way to sort of, it's another ritual that we go through as a sort of symbolism and reassurance that we're doing this. As we're doing this, it helps us focus our thoughts because we have a physical action to work through. So as I'm laying down the black salt, and I'll typically lay this around the same areas that I do the red brick dust, I'm going over these protective thoughts, and I'll usually evoke Saint Michael and Ogun at this time. Ogun is very protective over families and children, and I have 2 children. So I like to utilize him, and then Saint Michael, of course, we know is a great protector. I'm not a huge angel worker, but I do appreciate Saint Michael for the work that he has done in my clients' lives. So I do evoke him pretty regularly, as I have a lot of clients who are close to him. So I work through him that way. I keep a lot of, these are very traditional in my family. This is called Amati. This is what everyone calls now an evil eye. They're made out of glass, typically. They can be from Ethiopia, they can be from Greece, Turkey, Hungary. They have them all over sort of Eastern, Northern Africa through the Middle East. So this is one that a dear friend gave me, and I hang this in my window. It faces outside to reflect any negativity, the evil eye, gossip, jealousy, things like that may come over people at some points. I also use a lot of square iron nails. This is a lovely cross that was that I bought from a very talented woman, and it's made out of iron nails, and these also hang up in my windows. So you have iron, which is protective, and then the nails are also a very protective symbol. So this one, and then there's another little evil eye Mati hanging there. So those are a couple of just symbolic things I have up in the home that when I look at them, again, it directs my thoughts. And I think I go through my prayer of protection for my family, my neighborhood, my community, my home, my job, et cetera, et cetera. So the goal is to train your mind that when you see these things or you do these things, you get into that thought process and you start going through a ritualistic mindset and directing your mind towards this goal, towards this purpose. Sweeping is another thing that I do. It's very traditional in my family to sweep from, you open your door and you sweep from the open door to the back of your house, because you're sweeping in good luck and you're sweeping out the bad. So that's a protective act in itself, because the protection is twofold. You want to protect yourself, and as you're getting rid of that crud, you want to draw something positive in to replace it. So you can't forget that. That's another part with the offense thing or being proactive, is that if you're I've noticed a lot of negativity in people's lives stems from looking at Facebook or being on Facebook groups that are so-called spiritual or magical groups. And there's really just a lot of fighting and arguing, and people say some really nasty things. I don't get on those. I'm active on none of them, actually. I have my own on there that I'm active on, but I'm in some other ones because I was invited by friends, but I'm not active on there. You have to stay away from the drama, even if the drama is online. I have so many clients complain about crap on Facebook, and especially in groups that are supposed to be of spiritual or magical significance. And I think that a lot of those are just terrible to be in. There's just so much drama, and you have to, it's just like, having negative people in your life. You have to cut them out in order to be able to focus on what you need to handle. You cannot handle yourself and work on your goals when you are doing this little tit for tat crap online, and so said this, and you've got to respond back. You don't have to respond at all. You don't even have to read it. You shouldn't even be on there in the first place. So you're wasting your time. You're wasting your valuable energy that you could be putting into protecting what you already have, into working on goals that you want to obtain, versus putting your own energy into this. You're draining yourself. You want to talk about psychic vampires. I think people are psychic vampires to themselves because they participate in this junk. And so I think a lot of times the things that are brought onto people are things that they sort of got themselves wrapped up in, and without having a strong mind and focusing your mind, you've let yourself get wrapped up in these conversations or these threads online, and now you're sucked into that, and you feel like crap because you've just argued with somebody for hours about something that doesn't have anything to do with what you're trying to do in your life. So make a concerted effort not to participate in that kind of junk. I find that people are so much happier. I don't have any clue what's going on online in those groups, and it's fantastic. It is completely liberating. I find that people are so chained down by those things and reading, awful negativity online. And you have to remember what you're reading and what you're putting in your mind is that's making an impression on your cells. So if you want to be in a positive place and be able to have a clear, focused mind and obtain your goals and have a spiritual peace and work on your faith, then you have to get away from the drama and the negativity, no matter where it is. If it's physically around you with people that you know, you need to not associate with them. So, and the same thing online. Protect yourself by making smart choices with what you associate with, who you associate with, who you interact with, what you interact with online. Make sure that you're in a positive, supportive place. If you want to go online in groups or on Facebook, make sure that they are uplifting you and it's not just constant arguments, because that is impressioning your life and that is focusing your thoughts for you, whether you like it or not. So don't involve yourself. It's very simple. If you know, it's that's really as basic as I can make it. So it's not, there are some things you can do to protect yourself, and a lot of it is on you and your decisions. So I hope that this has gone over a few things that I do. I have a couple more. I'll probably go over them another time because this got really long. And yeah, so I hope y'all have a blessed week. I hope you're looking forward to your holidays coming up. I know I am. So have a blessed Samhain and Dia de los Muertos, and All Saints Day, All Souls Day, Halloween. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a safe time with your families. And thank you for watching. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye.